If I had to pick my favorite trope in like a dark romantasy, can you guess what my favorite book trope is? Is it enemies to lovers? Is it rags to riches? Is it a reverse harem?
I don't know what reverse harem is.
It's one girl and like 50 dudes, buddy. It's when the whole motorcycle gang is obsessed with one girl, and somehow all the motorcycle gang members are kind of related, and it's kind of incestuous, but like maybe it's not. Listen, that's not even my favorite trope. I have one singular favorite trope of mine that beats every single trope in history, and it is the trope of, just imagine this, there is a room full of people. It's the conference of rulers. There's something very important to decide who is going to be the next king, and usually you know exactly who it's gonna be. It's gonna be this guy that's sitting right there, that's been a prince for all his life, and then you're like, okay, well obviously he's gonna be the next king, but then the door slams open and a man walks in and he's unbelievably attractive. That is very important later on, okay? And he slams open the door and he says,
I am the next king.
and you're like, who the is that guy? Who let him in? And you have to wonder, you think to yourself for a brief moment, is that mental illness? Because like, why does he think he's king? But then you find out he is the child of the former king who is now gone, and now it's a fight to the throne, reclaiming the throne decades later. Something about that trope, I don't know what it is. It's like the future king being in a position where he's never experienced these types of things, and like rooting for the underdog, but also that is royalty blood that is pumping through his veins. Something about it just knocks my socks off. This case is the real life
case?
Yeah, no, really, is the real life version of that. Did you know there is a Game of Thrones woman living in London right now? She has the ability to create a Game of Thrones moment where her son could potentially, in decades from now, he's a wee baby right now, he's a little baby, he could slam open the door to the royal palace in Malaysia. Well, I don't know if he could security-wise, but theoretically, he could slam open the door and say, I am here to be the king of Malaysia. I can't even believe this is a real fucking story, and I can't even believe that one of the major news networks that are reporting it on it is not really the CNN. I feel like the only people who care for some reason is the Daily Mail, and I'm like, what's going on? We need a reality show. Forget the secret lives of Mormon wives. I want the secret lives of princes who are not princes yet. But you know, here's the thing with royalty. I feel like royalty has a way of having these royal taste buds. And I thinkums in my little minds of mine, it's because they're so well traveled ever since they're young.
You're a princess.
I think it's because they travel a lot when they're younger. And I was talking to a few of my friends who say they are self-proclaimed chicken nugget girlies, where every restaurant they go, if there's chicken nuggets on the menu, they're gonna get the chicken nuggets. And you know who they blame? They blame their parents. And they say it's their fault. I don't know why, but it's just their fault. And so I've done this thing where every single month I ordered a baksu for my sister so that she could give it to her kids. I just want them to try different flavor profiles of snacks. I mean, their stomachs must be this big, okay? And they tear this thing up. I have never seen them so ravenous. If you guys don't know, I've been consuming baksu for years now. Oh, it's like maybe 4 or 5 years, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. And every single month, I get a baksu sent to me all the way from Japan. And there's really nothing better because they work with real family-owned businesses all over Japan. And here's my thing, right? I've never been a huge fan of snack boxes. I don't like when people curate things for me. I feel like I am the best curator for myself. That's what I thought, right? Until baksu, like the third box in, I was like, wow, they really know what they're doing. The way that they curate each box with a theme and everything is cohesive, and all of the different variations of snacks and different treats that I would never imagine to try in a million years had it not been included in my baksu. And then it ends up being like my all-time favorite snack fixation for the next 5 months. I go onto baksu.com just to order that specific one in bulk. The first box that you're gonna get is the Seasons of Japan, which is so perfect because because right now I feel like all the yellow and oranges of fall are coming out, so it's the perfect vibe right now. But whether you buy it in November or in March, you're gonna have a collection that is perfectly curated to that season with the most popular snacks and unique flavors of that season. And I've been talking about this one for years. You guys know this is my favorite. I had a fixation of these. Another favorite of mine. Anytime this is included in a box, I get so excited. These are yuzu seaweed snacks. I wish I could put into words.
I always think about in this damn age.
Yeah.
Like we can consume the visuals and audios. Why
Yes.
can't we consume the smell and the taste yet?
What? I don't get what's so hard about that.
I think they just created the first AI that can taste the difference between Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Or that could be fake
But
news
what
that I
about
fell
me?
for.
Like, what if I want to taste it through the screen?
Okay, I don't know about taste, but why can't they replicate scent?
Yeah,
Because
that's what
the
I'm saying.
scent of that is so interesting. It's like a lemon, but a little bit more sour, but then also a seaweed and a roasted scent. Do you know how hard that is to explain? Okay, these are also my favorites. These are the one bite sesame mochis. Chewy, nutty, not too sweet. This yummy bite-sized mochi has an anko red bean filling and black and white sesame seed coating.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good description.
So if you guys want to try Baksu for yourself or share the joy with a loved one, you can make sure to click the link in the description and use my code BIS to get $15 off your first Baksu order. It's just like a really good gift. It's like the gift. Here, let me show you.
The thing about baksu is every bite you take, it's just premium. It just tastes.
You know how some people are like, I'm so angry I can't even eat when they get into fights with their partners? That can't be me. I will fight and eat at the same time. So make sure to click the link in the description and use my code BIS to get $15 off your first Baksu order. And with that being said, thank you Baksu for sponsoring today's video. And let's get into it. There is a woman living in London and she's actually a model. She has a whole Instagram page and she posts a lot on Instagram. And recently there has been a lot of drama over her Instagram page. Normally she'll post pictures of herself with Louis Vuitton and all these luxury goods, living that high fast model life. But then at the same time, she's posting these pictures of her son and leaving to an outsider who has no idea of what's going on, very interesting Instagram captions talking about how she's so happy that Malay blood runs through the veins of her son and how he is just ready to take on this life and this role and his father is this amazing person. And everyone was like, what is going on? Like, who is this model? Who is her son? Who is this son's father? And she claims that the son's father is Sultan Muhammad V of Malaysia. Okay, now if you're like, who is that? He was the former king of Malaysia. He is royal blood. And if she is accurate, if this story is correct, her son could be the next king of Malaysia when he grows older.
Wait, where are they right now?
In London. And the Malaysian government don't seem to like them. It's a whole controversy. Is that actually his son? Is that not his son? We don't know what's going on right now. So let me explain first who Sultan Muhammad V is. And honestly, what the whole Malaysian monarchy is about. The Conference of Rulers in Malaysia decides the future king of Malaysia every 5 years. I think the Malaysian monarchy is one of the more interesting monarchies because it's so civil. Like, I don't know how to describe. It's so nice. Like, you have royal families and it's like, I am royal. This is my royal blood and nobody else is royal. The Malaysian monarchy is like, well, I guess we could share the seat. Nobody has to be king until they die. It's kind of wild. The concept is interesting. So Malaysia is made up of 13 states, which only 9 states take part in the monarchy, right? The other 3 states have governors that will actually vote on who the next king is going to be. So it's called the Conference of Rulers. Every 5 years, they get together in the royal palace in this room and they cast a secret ballot, a vote. Yes or no, do you want this to be the next king? Because everything is very civil. It's not like you sit there and you decide, is it going to be him or is it going to be him? Who's the next king? Let's have them compete and fight to the death. It's actually very organized. So the 9 states, they each have a royal family, if you will. And every 5 years, each state gets a rotation. So like, let's say the state of New York gets 5 years where the royal family of New York gets to be king for 5 years. And then the next state in line is California. Now the voting comes in when it's California's time for the slot. They're like, hey, this is our nominee from the family, the royal family. Do you accept? And they just say yes or no. Most of the time they accept. It's just to make it seem more amicable and harmonious, right?
Wow.
Yeah,
Very
it's
nice.
so fascinating and nice. Yeah.
So there's a set turn and then there's a set order that people go by.
Yes.
Okay.
Like
Which also means that you already know who could be the next one, right?
yes, if you calculate the ages and stuff. Now, the only way that you could not be king is, let's say, it's your nomination for the state. You get nominated, but majority votes no. They won't look for another person in your royal family. They'll just skip your state for that rotation.
Wait, what did you just say?
Okay, so let's say our family is up. It's our state's turn, okay? And I say, it's me. I'm going to be the next king. Everybody
Yeah.
votes no. That doesn't mean one of you guys can come up next. That just means, okay, this state is passed until their
Okay,
next
so we have
rotation.
to all agree on one person first.
Yes, yes.
So how do we pick that person?
Just secret yes or no ballot.
No, in the family. How do we pick that person?
Oh, in the family. Let me tell you, it gets even more complicated. Okay, so 7 of the 9 royal families, they have side note, the king has to be male. They have the very traditional monarchy system. It's father, son, 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 son. So it's kind of like the British royal family. Prince Harry cannot be king because of Prince William. And then Prince William's son will be king. You get it. It's that. 7 of the 9 are like that. Father, son, 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 son. Now, one of the states, they just rotate between 3 branches of the royal family.
Okay.
So I wonder if it's like 3 brothers, and every rotation they rotate the 3 branches as well. And then one of the other of the 9 states, they actually vote for any male in the royal family before they get nominated.
I see.
So they have like a preliminary voting, and it could be like an uncle or the son or the dad. It could be anybody. As long as they're in the royal family, they could get voted to be nominated as the king of Malaysia.
So technically there's like 9 families.
Yes.
And then they all take turns to become the king
Yes.
for 5 years.
And then like my booktube brain was like, there's got to be some interroyal marriages or something. Come on, overthrow the government. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But think about that. If they get married in between the power couple. Oof, so good, no? And then it's like, I don't even want to go down that route, but so good. And then once you're voted in, you are king. You must move to the Royal Palace of Malaysia in Kuala Lumpur. Your title is now changed from Sultan to, I'm going to mispronounce it, and I feel like that's a royal misservice if I mispronounce it, but it translates roughly to he who is made supreme ruler. The king has very important functions, including appointing the prime minister, giving royal assent to legislation, representing the nation in ceremonial duties. I mean, depending on who you ask, some say the role of the king is largely ceremonial. The main power of the country of Malaysia lies within the parliament and the prime minister, but the role is still held with very high regard. Like high respect, high prestige, especially for the Malay Muslim majority, because the king is seen as someone who upholds the Malay and Islamic traditions. And now, Sultan Muhammad V, the former king of Malaysia, he is in a whole scandal because a model in London is saying, hey, that is my baby daddy. And everyone is like, ooh, that's not really abiding by Islamic laws and traditions, is it now? What's going on? What's happening? Let's break it down. At the age of 10 years old, Muhammad V becomes the crown prince of his state. The crown prince means like you're gonna be king one day. Like just imagine that burden at 10 years old. You're gonna be king one day. And his dad is the sultan of that state. So when that state's rotation comes into play, he's gonna be the king. You get it. Now in 2006, it's their state's rotation. At this point, Sultan Muhammad V is 36 years old, but his dad is still alive. So his dad is the one that's nominated, but his dad is too sick. So he cannot be the next king of Malaysia. So they actually skip that state's turn.
So the dad couldn't just say, son, you be the king.
Yeah. Maybe he wasn't ready, you know, because he hasn't been sultan yet. So after that, the rotation passes on. The crown prince, Muhammad V, gets appointed as the regent of Kelantan in May 2009. So his dad is in Singapore receiving health treatment, and he immediately, Muhammad V, he's making money moves. He becomes regent, and he says, hey, younger brother, you are dismissed from the Kelantan Council of Succession, which means his younger brother can no longer be in line for succession and can never be the sultan of his own state.
Wait, I thought he is the next one.
He is, but his brother could if they wanted him to.
Oh, so he did something?
Yeah, he was just like, you're not going to succeed as king.
Okay.
And so this was like a largely controversial move. People felt like it was very Game of Thronesy. Like, why'd you do that? Was there a specific reason you did that? Or like, it just feels a little like your dad is sick. You guys just skipped your rotation. You're the regent. And now you're like, hey, you're gone, brother. Then September 2010, the title of Sultan gets passed on to him, which starts a whole nother drama because immediately his dad objects the decision. He carries out a whole petition against his own son's appointment as the Sultan of that state. He's in Singapore. He's getting health treatment. He states he had no idea that he was no longer the Sultan. He had no idea that his son was suddenly the freaking Sultan.
Okay, so they're not that nice. They still fight for it. You know?
You're
Okay,
right.
okay. Got it.
So then through his lawyers, he's challenging the legitimacy of this appointment, but the council states that the decision is based on the circumstances of the man's health because there's just no way that he could continue and carry on being the sultan when he's sick in Singapore and the state needs a sultan. So they're going to stand by that decision.
Which means...
He is going to be the next King of Malaysia when his state's rotation comes around. And it's interesting because after he becomes the Sultan of Malaysia, people actually end up liking him a lot. People said that you would see him at the local mosques just blending in. He didn't have a whole entourage of photographers making a whole scene about like, oh my gosh, is that the Sultan? He would just blend in without protocol. During Ramadan, he came up with these initiatives to get people to get to know him, where they could just join him for early morning prayers, and people thought that was really sweet and really nice. Even the Royal Walkathon, he turned it into this huge event that everybody looks forward to, which by the way, I did run these through our Malaysian researcher, but like, please, if there's any more information, let me know in the comments, or more so like misinterpreted information. Anyway, there were concerns about the country's debt. So he decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just cut my own salary by 10%. And everyone was like, yeah.
Wait. Oh, okay. So it's his action you're saying.
Yeah.
Like he's like, okay, I'm going to start with myself.
Yeah,
Let
and
me
it's-
do something to help.
Exactly.
Right,
And
okay.
people are like, I guess we haven't seen people do that. So like, thank you. He didn't have an open house later on. Like when all these royal events, when he later gets appointed king, he doesn't do them because he just wants to save money for the country. And in 2016, he is made the 15th king. He is 47 years old. And for the next 5 years, he will be the king of Malaysia. And it was very exciting because he is actually the very first single king. They said he was the most single king. They didn't say that in Malaysia. Internationally, they called him the most single king, bachelor king. Okay, because a lot of the times kings have queens. What's a king without a queen?
Oh.
He doesn't have one. He's lonely.
Oh my God.
Somebody, he's lonely, okay? He was married before. When he was 35, he was actually married to the daughter of a Thai official. Some sources say she had royal connections, like royal blood. She could, yeah. But after 4 years, they divorced, they separated, they didn't have children. So he is now the most single king. That's what everybody thought. That's what they all thought until all of a sudden, people start hearing all this news, all this buzz in Malaysia from foreign media outlets in English written Western sources that the king of Malaysia is married. And everyone is like, excuse me, what? I don't believe you. There's no way. A bunch of Malaysians said no. They woke up the morning, saw the news and said fake news is getting crazy. And then people started pulling up the pictures. And you see the king of Malaysia, King Mohammed V, wearing traditional Malaysian clothing next to a woman wearing this beautiful white wedding gown with sequins all over in such an extravagant wedding. And everyone is like, what on earth is happening right now? What do you mean? What kind of king gets secretly married? We didn't even know he was dating someone. And everyone's like, who is this person? How did they meet? Now, turns out he and his wife, Oksana, they met at Basel World.
Basel World.
Basel World is like a watch event in Basel, Switzerland, where all of the watchmakers come together and they say, hey, come here. I know that you can buy a phone that has a clock. I know you can look at the computer screen, see the time. I know you could probably look at the sky and calculate where the moon and the sun is and like get a gauge of the time. Or you could buy this watch for your wrist for $1 million. And I think you should do that.
Technically a timepiece.
A timepiece. A timepiece. A horological development. Okay, you could do that. You could do that, right? So he goes to Basel World and he meets this woman named Oksana. And he falls in love.
Is Oksana the model?
Oh yeah, she's the model living in London, but she's a Russian national, which becomes a whole thing because there are conspiracies that she was a Russian spy. Woo! Okay. Woo! I'm stressed. Anyway, her family is quite wealthy. Her dad is this famous plastic surgeon. Her mom is a pianist who won beauty pageants when she was younger. Everybody says Oksana inherited her father's intelligence and her mother's beauty. She's stunning. She went to Oxford University to study for English, which people thought was interesting. Guess who also went to Oxford to study?
Muhammad?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're like 20 years apart, so they just missed each other at the campus. Okay.
Wait, so he was 49, you said?
47, I think.
So she's like 27?
Oh, she was 25.
25. Okay.
Yeah. So they just missed each other. They could have been they could have been colleagues. They could have been peers. She had won Miss Moscow in 2015. She has a master's degree in management. She calls herself a specialist in international marketing. And during the Miss Moscow pageant, she said, I do not have a boyfriend, and I think that it would be harder for me to win if I had one, because every boyfriend, if he lets his girl go to the beauty contest, she will not be his girlfriend anymore because she will get lots of attention. She doesn't have any time for her private life, and finally, I think it'll be a distraction. I will have the relations when my heart tells me. So far, my heart is silent.
Wait, so she was in a beauty pageant?
Mm-hmm. And she said she's not in a relationship because her heart tells her no. And this was in 2015. She's crowned winner of Miss Moscow at 22 years old. Now, March 2017, the two meet at specifically a Jacob & Co. watch event. Don't even get me started about Jacob & Co. watches, okay? Listen, this is coming from someone who doesn't own a Jacob & Co. watch, so is it bitter jealousy? Potentially. Is it idiocracy? Potentially. Is it because I know nothing about class and designer? Absolutely could be that as well. I mean, tell me why it is necessary for any human being to walk around with a fucking aquarium on their wrist. Why is it a globe-sized aquarium? It's not even ergonomically, like you're gonna hit stuff with that watch. These are some of the, in my humble opinion of someone who cannot afford these timepieces, some of the ugliest shit I've ever seen in the history of my life. I was watching this TikTok of this guy looking at Jacob & Co. watches, and I was like, you can't fucking be serious. Like, this video is so crazy. It is so wild. I never want another man to make fun of a girl for her interests ever again, because if you are sitting there seriously stroking your ego talking about
This is a one of one.
I'm like, yeah, because nobody wanted another one. Okay, that's why. I'm so sorry. I know you like watches.
but it's Jacob & Co. You're good.
Yeah, Jacob & Co. is
Okay,
he's so talented.
Yeah, no, he's good.
Yeah.
He's very innovative, creative.
He's very controversial of a human being, but I do think just like take him out of it, take life out of it. It's just not my vibe. The watches are just not my vibe. They're huge.
So he sold they call it the billionaire watch to Mayweather.
Oh, yeah.
He sold a couple of those to him, which is crazy. Just all like diamond, the whole thing out, like cost like $20 million.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a lot of these like really like a big, like it reminds me of those like Power Rangers. It's like you have like a wristband with a little ball attached to it, and you press it and you transform.
You know what it reminds me of? Those like blood pressure monitors, but you wear them on your wrist. Okay. Jacob & Co. watches are very interesting. I think it's definitely like a very ultra rich type of thing. Like maybe one day we will all experience the joy of having a terranium on our wrist, but today is not that day. Now, Oksana gets hired as a watch model at Jacob & Co. And after the event, Oksana and some of the guests go to this after party and they meet the king of Malaysia. And he introduces himself to Oksana. And he's like, hi, I'm, Sultan Muhammad V, King of Malaysia. And she's shaking.
Is that really? Like, that's really how he introduced himself?
And she's shaking his hand and she goes, and I'm the Queen of Moscow. She thought he was fucking around. She thought he was legitimately joking.
But she is a beauty queen, right?
Yeah. So she said, and I'm the Queen of Moscow. And it was like a whole hee hee ha ha moment. And she's chuckling. And the two of them, they hang out for the night. And eventually he gives her his phone number and vice versa. And it's during a few phone calls later that she realizes, wait a minute. This guy is actually the king of Malaysia because I Googled it. And like, what do I do? So she visits multiple times. She flies to Malaysia from Moscow and slowly she falls in love with the country. She falls in love with the king. He confesses her feelings for her and she moves to Malaysia. I mean, it's escalating so quickly. It's like happening in the span of a few months. Oksana's father meets the king of Malaysia and said, if I had any doubts whatsoever about the decency of Muhammad, I would not have approved the choice for my daughter. He fully supports them despite their 23-year age gap. Yeah, which I mean, to be fair, he is the king of Malaysia.
Yeah.
Like I would
and
find
now she's the queen.
Yeah, but also imagine being like, the king is not good enough for you. Like that's a lot. That's a loaded statement. No, April 2018, a year after meeting, Oksana fully converts to Islam to fully embrace Sultan Muhammad's life and culture. Also, typically in Islam, if one picture is Muslim, it's generally necessary for the other partner to convert for the marriage to be recognized. So she even starts wearing a hijab, and 2 months following her conversion, the two get married in secret. Nobody knew, not even his ex-wife. Not even the government, it seems. Okay, they had a wedding in Malaysia. They had another ceremony in Moscow. And later, all of these pictures get leaked. One netizen said he was casually scrolling on his phone and the pictures popped up of this extravagant wedding that appeared to be halal. So there was no pork, lard, or alcohol. But still, very strange. And he remembered thinking, what the hell? The king of Malaysia is married? Some Malaysian news sites, they tried to cover the news of like, oh my gosh, the king got secretly married a few months ago. And they quickly took down their footage with no explanation, acted like they didn't just post that, which people thought was strange. Some thought it was fake because the National Palace made no statement of that day to his marriage. So it's not an officially recognized marriage. Why would the National Palace not recognize the marriage?
Is he hiding it?
It seems like it.
He's hushing, right?
Yeah.
Like removing like articles and stuff?
Yes, and it's just, well, I don't know if he was doing it. I don't know who was doing it, but they were just removed, right? I'm not alleging anything against the former king of Malaysia, okay? But many Malaysians were very confused. First, they felt disappointed. There was no national announcement. They had to find out through foreign media outlets that their king got secretly married. It's a little bit of a sense of betrayal here. And also, people were very disappointed that he married someone much, much younger than him. And additionally, she's Russian. Because, a monarchy is a symbol of the people.
Right.
And I'm not saying anything is wrong with marrying someone Russian, but you get the idea. They were just a little bit upset. And many netizens felt disappointed and they wrote, I guess he's like any other man, driven by lust. And people said, let's give her a chance. Maybe she's a great person. So they start Googling Oksana. And this is where things start going downhill. In all of Oksana's past photos, everyone thought, yes, she has converted. Yes, she has since changed her attire. It's said that she wears a hijab now. But the king is the reason she changed. Because if you Google her name, you're going to get back a lot of bikini photos.
But she was in the beauty pageants and stuff, right?
Yes, but lots of like selfies and bikini photos. But even the beauty pageants, even her being in bikini photos, it technically is not the ideal for Islamic traditions and beliefs.
Right. So there's a cultural clash.
Yes, yeah. Which they're not shaming her for that, but they're just saying if the king is a representation of many of the Malay Muslim majority, then shouldn't his wife also be someone that is, inspirational, an idol of what people believe in and what they stand for. And yes, she has converted to Islam, but it feels like she converted so that she could marry the king and not because she herself had found faith and found the religion prior to the king's influence.
Got it.
So a lot of Malaysians felt this is not very halal, is how they stated. So they just were a little bit upset. Someone commented on Reddit also, we have a Russian queen, LOL, to which someone responds, meddling in our erections.
Meddling?
Yeah, like, because, meddling in our elections. So they're saying they could be meddling in our elections, but also our erections. Yeah, people are being very mean and very wild in the comments. Now, the problem with this also is that when their photos were leaked of their very extravagant wedding, one of Malaysia's largest financial scandals had just taken place. So there had been allegations of embezzlement, mismanagement of billions of dollars from a state investment fund. This is the 1MDB scandal. So this fund was established in 2009 by then Prime Minister Najib, and the whole purpose was being long-term economic development through global partnerships and investments. But in 2015, it was revealed that large sums of money had just been siphoned off into private accounts, including that of the Prime Minister. I think they found like hundreds of millions of dollars were siphoned off. Not even like $1 million, which is already crazy, but like hundreds of millions is insane. The funds were reportedly used for luxury real estate, artwork, and they even helped finance and produce the Hollywood movie Wolf of Wall Street. just ironic. So the wedding is allegedly in November of 2018, when the scandal is at its height.
Oh,
So people are
I see. So people are saying the country is in crisis and our king is having a secret wedding.
Yes, so it's like multiple back-to-backs. Country is in crisis. The country is in debt. The scandal is taking place. Corrupt government officials. The king is secretly getting married to a woman who does not fit the Islamic ideals, or at least her past, even just like a few months before she met the king, was not, fitting the Islamic traditions and ideals. So it's just like a mixture of everything. It was not a good look. Comments read, I guess he's being careful not to give people the impression that he's having an extravagant wedding while our country is suffering from piles of debt from the 1MDB fiasco. There goes our money, people. So this breaks. And there were some people who were trying to be neutral about it. They say things like, I saw it in the news. She said she fell for his sense of humor. I somehow doubt that. But also, if I was an old fart who didn't give a fuck anymore, I'd probably marry someone who looks like that too. These are like the neutral comments at the time. So people are very riled up. Now, 45 days after the news breaks, like a month and a half after the news breaks that he's married in secret, he abdicates the throne. He steps down from the throne. This would be the very first king in Malaysia to ever abdicate the throne. He only served 759 days. He only served like 2 of the 5 years. He's still going to be Sultan of Kelantan after his abdication, but nobody even gave a reason for why he abdicated.
Really?
Yeah, and everyone thought, whoa, okay, we were just making fun of him. We were just saying all this, yapping away like little netizens we are, just saying whatever we wanted to in the comments, but he did it. He's the first king. The debate between to love the throne or to love beauty, he chose love. They said this man left the throne for his wife. The comments are like, I think he wants to spend time with his young, beautiful wife and might want privacy away from the public.
And people love that.
Yes, they were like, you know what? Maybe it is love.
Maybe love is real.
Maybe he is a little silly, goofy guy, and she fell for his sense of humor, and she's just like a silly, goofy girl. And we love it. Everyone was like, you know what? Maybe it's not that bad. Oksana's dad said, they have their own lives, I have mine. But I can tell you one thing. As a doctor, when I first met him, the former king, for the first time, I relaxed somewhere deep inside. I immediately felt that Oksana would be doing well with him. Maybe my father's heart told me, and when my daughter turned Muslim, I decided to take a closer look at the religion. I turned to my Muslim friends, and I want to tell you this right now. I think it's a fabulous religion. I think Oksana has done absolutely the right thing. The wife must always follow the husband. And it's just this beautiful message. And everyone thought, okay, wow, there's going to be a new king of Malaysia and he's going to go live his best life. We feel so good. May 21st, 2019, Oksana posts pictures of baby feet on Instagram. And the caption reads, The day my life was divided into before and after. Everything that I was told about the changes occurring in a woman after the birth of a baby is untrue. This love is special. These feelings are completely new, and I'm grateful to Allah and my husband for our son. Now there are 3 of us. Thank you for choosing our family. She also posts pictures of herself pregnant with the captions, "It was the most important and at the same time the most difficult period in my life. The last 3 months of pregnancy I spent in hospitals, staying in beds with drips in both hands. I had too many difficulties with the pregnancy. The support of my closest people, my love for my son, and my faith in the best has helped me through these hard times." And she also posts about her marriage in Moscow, writing, the caption is more so for her son. "One day you will see this photo, son. You are not born here yet, but I already love you unconditionally. I want to say thank you to the people who shared this happy moment with us and were together with us this evening. It was a wonderful wedding." And in another caption she writes, so people are just like, okay, we're only getting these updates from Oksana's Instagram. She writes another photo.
Wait, she's posting all of these after she gave birth?
Yes.
So the baby came out, she's posting about the baby, the wedding,
yes,
all of that. Okay.
She's like going through memory lane, and she's like, it's crazy. She gets married and she has this baby now, and she writes, "I am so proud that Malaysian blood flows through my son's veins. I will do my best to raise him so that he grows up deserving of your love." And she calls him like the next prince of, like all of these things, right? Now, the part where it gets fascinating is after the first post, people are like, "Oh my gosh, they had a baby. This is crazy. This is news." The royal palace, silent. Former king, silent. Says nothing. Even though she's using the title Tengku, which is basically a title you give to those that are going to be like the next sultan. It means like his or her highness. It's inherited by members of the royal family. In fact, the state of Kelantan does not release a statement for a little bit. And then finally, when they do, it feels weird. This is not the same energy. In her post, she's like, "My royal highness son is born. Look at our beautiful family. Hee hee ha ha." But the royal palace of Kelantan says, "Hello guys, don't use royal titles without permission." I mean, obviously, this is paraphrasing. They wrote it beautifully. But it's like, don't use royal titles without permission. No one can be referred to with royal titles without an official announcement from the state palace. More or less saying, "Oksana, sit your booty down. Your son is illegitimate." Like, that's basically what they just said. And so people are like, wait, what just happened? I thought he abdicated the throne so that he could be with his loving wife, and then she gave birth, and now nobody is recognizing anything? Like, nobody is officially recognizing the son? What the fork is going on? And then divorce papers start circulating online, and this is all spiraling so quickly, which at this point, what? Everyone found out that they met March 2017, married in secret June 2018, held another ceremony November 2018. By January 2019, the king abdicates his throne. She gives birth to a son, and now it's reported that they got a divorce? The news was
got a divorce?
Yeah, it said that the divorce was dissolved at the Singapore Sharia court in June of 2019. Now, the certificate indicates that the divorce was executed under a Muslim law mechanism known as the triple talaq, which a man can divorce his wife by repeating the word talaq or divorce in Arabic 3 times without needing the wife to be present. It's like the most severe form of divorce. The couple cannot reunite. I think they have these obstacles in order to reunite. It's actually been criticized by many Islamic scholars and human rights groups for being unfair because it can leave wives in very vulnerable and disadvantaged places after marriage. And sometimes, like in Oksana's case, she didn't even know. She was divorced because
she thought she was still married.
Yeah, she didn't need to be present. She finds out on social media. She hires an attorney who makes a public statement stating, "I, as the attorney, do not deal with divorce cases because there is no divorce as of today. There are no documents. I am engaged in defending Oksana's interests, defending her from attacks by the media. Oksana married for love and is still married. She has not filed any documents for divorce. She gave birth to a child in a maternity hospital. Understand that she is a nursing mother. In this position, she should be protected from stress. She will call the ex-king and they will solve the issue between them as a family matter."
So what's going on? She gave birth, and then where did the king go?
He's still in Malaysia, and she's not in Malaysia.
Where is she?
She's all over Europe. She was in Switzerland, then she went to Moscow. Yeah.
Why is he not there? Like,
that's what people want to know, right? They're like, what happened? Why is he not there? Why is this all unfolding online? Like, this doesn't even make any sense. Even Oksana's father made a statement. This is nonsense. I do not read the internet, but I would have been the first to know if this divorce was real. So then netizens are like, wait, I'm so confused. Why would he divorce Oksana after she has a son on top of that? You know, because some allegations are that he divorced his first wife because they were struggling to have a child. I don't know if that's true, but like there were whispers here and there, and like technically kings want a son because, you know, that's the next in line for throne. So it just didn't make any sense. So people start digging because the bikini pictures, I mean, it's bad. People were a little upset, but it wasn't the end of the world. People were very happy when he abdicated, not because he abdicated, but more so like, oh, I guess he's in love, right? So what was it? Netizens start digging and digging. What the heck went wrong? And surely the palace and the Malaysians disapproved of her, but would he really divorce her after the birth of their son? They find an interesting video. A few years before meeting Sultan Muhammad, Oksana had been on a reality TV show called Holidays in Mexico, Season 2. It's 11 young Russians thrown together at a resort in Mexico. It's kind of like Too Hot to Handle, Love Island, any other dating reality show. They're advertising the show as, quote, live there, making love to each other from time to time and emotionally discussing their relations. Which is like, what a copy.
Live there.
Yeah.
Make love from time to time? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Make love from time to time?
And emotionally discussing their relations. There's a girl on the show that goes by the name of Nicole, if you will. And I think that's the name she goes by, but she was seen making out with a guy in a pool. And then later she's seen having intimate relations in bed with another guy in like the span of the same episode. Everyone was like, that looks like Oksana. That looks like her. That's gotta be her. I mean, they have the same features. They have the same height, weight, same voice, same cadence. Everything is the same. And it is pretty much confirmed that it is her. Some were stating, I don't know, it was weird. Okay, maybe the bikini photos are one thing because she is like a beauty pageant queen. So maybe it makes sense. But maybe the Sultan saw this video and was like, maybe that's not abiding by my religion and beliefs. Like maybe that's not who I want to be engaged with and have this relationship with. And everyone thought, okay, maybe it makes sense. In fact, maybe it makes more sense that the king didn't find out about this until later. So he feels even more betrayed. Maybe he didn't know when he married her that she had been on these reality shows doing these things, which goes against his morals and beliefs, may not go against ours or anybody else's, but like to him specifically, it's testing his boundaries. He feels humiliated. And, you know, in many Islamic communities, her actions could be seen as grave sins. So the theory being is either he himself didn't know and was outraged that she didn't warn or tell him, and he found out through the public about this reality show video, so he divorced her, or he knew, but the Malaysian government and the state that he is the sultan of would never let him keep his power. They would never allow this to happen, so he divorced her. Those are the two theories at first.
Yeah.
But then it starts getting messier because there are pictures of Oksana out grocery shopping while pregnant with a handsome man. And everyone thought that she had cheated on Sultan Muhammad. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I don't know. But some people say it kind of looks like her brother. So it could just be her brother. Eventually, Sultan Muhammad releases a statement through his lawyer. There is no objective evidence that he is the biological father of the child. On behalf of His Royal Highness, we request that his privacy be respected.
Oh, he said that's not my kid?
Yeah.
Whoa, okay.
This is coming in hot.
Getting even messier.
Yeah, Oksana responds on Instagram writing, "This is an act of provocation. We have never been divorced. I want to be the last person in his life, and I want to live with him until the end of my life."
Oh, she still wants him.
Yeah, and she insists that her son Leon is the spitting image of Sultan Muhammad and that she is willing to undergo a DNA test. Oh yeah. So there's another issue that takes place. Some sources state that Malaysia has invited her to come to the country multiple times to take a paternity test, which she has refused, which would make her appear sus. But other sources state that's just a rumor. She was never asked to come, so why would she go?
Yeah, but still, it seems like that's pretty easy to prove, right?
That's what I'm saying, you know? It's very easy. Like, I don't even think you would have to prove it in Malaysia, dude. Well, I guess because he's a monarch. It's
Take like a little, DNA.
Not a 23andMe.
One of those?
Not a 23andMe, buddy. Okay, so most netizens appear to believe that is the Sultan's son. Just by pictures.
Did you see the photo?
I did. And I don't know if I'm being swayed by netizen comments, but I feel like it's like a clone of the Sultan.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like it's a copy and paste of the Sultan. But also, I'm not really good at deciphering babies. Like, I could go to the playground right now and not know which one is Sophie. That's a complete lie. I love my niece, right? But he looks very much like Sultan Muhammad V. He looks like his name is Sultan Muhammad VI. I'm just saying, okay? That's what it appears. Now, people are commenting from the eyes upward, they look exactly the same, which is not a lot of space, but they say the eyebrows and the forehead are even identical in shape.
What?
And netizens also...
I feel like all of us will look the same.
We look the same too, honey.
Yeah.
Not our eyebrows. Yeah. Now, people are also upset because now they're thinking, wait, I feel like Oksana was completely abandoned from the beginning, though, because maybe he never divorced his first wife, and the rumors that the new marriage got out of hand and they just threw some dirt as an excuse. So people are starting to come up with these conspiracy theories. They're saying maybe there's another reason why he divorced Oksana that we don't know about. Maybe it's not the reality TV show. Maybe it has nothing to do with her past and her reality past and the modeling and these bikini photos. So what would the reason be? It doesn't even make any sense. At this point, it seems like the relations between Oksana and the Sultan are getting worse. She takes to Daily Mail to do an interview where she records a video message to the Sultan, which insinuates that they're not even on speaking terms.
Really?
That she has to like reach out through the media is what it appears. During the interview with Daily Mail, she's asked about her wedding day and she says, it was like a fairy tale. You know, my husband did it for me as a gift and everything was done according to Muslim practices. And they asked her, and then exactly what went wrong in the marriage then if you had this fairy tale beautiful wedding? When he left in December and never came back. I actually don't know what happened because everything was okay. We were expecting our first baby, but till now, I still don't know the real reason. The last message we had was on the day of his abdication, January 6, 2019. He messaged that he missed me a lot and that on this day he was leaving his job. After his abdication, he just vanished. My friends supported me a lot at that moment. My close friend was simply living with me over the remaining 5 months of my pregnancy, and it was rough. When did you discover that your husband wanted a divorce? I hadn't spoken to my husband since the abdication and had no opportunity to discuss or clarify our relationship. I tried to contact him, his friends, his relatives many times, but I couldn't reach them. Did he abdicate his throne for you? I think it's a bit political. I'm out of politics, but I don't think it's because of me. Now, about her son, Oksana says he's growing so well, he's developing faster than his peers, and the older he gets, the more and more he's starting to look like his father. But as to the paternity test, she says, I have nothing to prove to anybody because he is his son born in a legal marriage.
So she's saying that he quit his job and then ghosted her.
Quit his job, honey, abdicated the throne.
No, but that's what she said. She said he
Yes.
left his job, right?
Yes, and then
Yeah.
just went AWOL, disappeared.
Ghosted the wife.
Left his job and his marriage, just like a double whammy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, she also states that Leon, her son, was planned. So I don't know why Sultan Muhammad is behaving like this. Now, side note, they were spotted at a fertility clinic in Germany prior to all of this. Those photos were taken, I think, after their wedding. So I don't know why else you would be at a fertility clinic. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of reasons why someone would be at a fertility clinic, but I'm speaking about these two specifically. I doubt that the king of Malaysia is donating sperm.
Oh, so you're saying that he knew that she's pregnant with his kid. That's why they went there together, is what you're saying.
Yes, is the
Okay.
feeling that I'm getting for all of this. Now, her video message to Sultan Muhammad is, wake up. You have a son. You are a father and you are a royal. Of course, think about your son. What will he think of when he sees all of this? She also states that because her husband left her completely, just abandoned her, she had to sell her engagement ring to make by. She said she got a Jacob & Co. engagement ring that was $350,000.
Wow.
Yes. She had to sell it to pay for her hospital stay in Switzerland. She said, I won't disclose the amount I sold it for, but it was 3 times less than its value.
wait.
Okay,
so
that was
she
a
sold
little...
this for 100. That's not a good marketing for Jacob and Go, though. I'm just
No,
saying.
it's not.
Like, Jacob.
Come on, Jacob. Yeah.
Come on. Did
Jacob
you
the
overcharge?
jeweler.
Did you overcharge?
And she says, I used that money to cover my medical bills in Switzerland as I was at risk of losing the baby. Now, the normally quiet Sultan Mohammed's lawyers hit back with, he did not abandon his wife. She left on her own accord to return to Russia. His Royal Highness made a proposal through us to Oksana between May and June 2019, offering her a substantial and generous sum of money. Which, side note, people think he offered her millions to state that her son is not theirs, never to have the child contact him, and never, in a lack of better phrasing, never try to be the king of Malaysia. But I don't know how true this is. But that was a rumor at that point, okay? It said that she declined. We're going to get to it later because another proposal comes up.
Proposal?
That's similar, yeah. So the lawyer continues that Oksana and her attorney refused the proposal and instead informed him and his attorneys that a UK tabloid was willing to pay handsomely for her story. So she's like out here trying to get money for interviews is what they're claiming. They're trying to make it seem like she's, very excited about the money opportunities. They also stated that throughout the marriage, Oksana received not just the ring, but a Porsche, other jewelry items, Cartier items. They allege Sultan Mohammed was paying her $20,000 for her pregnancy and medical bills. I don't know if that's a month or if they just have better healthcare. That's not the United States because look at how much labor cost is to deliver a baby in a United States hospital. I think it's like $30,000. So maybe it was per month. I don't know. So for a minute there's silence after this statement. She's saying all of this, like, well, look at what you're doing. Look at our son. How will he feel? How do you just abandon us like that? And then he's saying things like, I don't know what she's saying. That's not my baby. And by the way, she's like threatening to get interviews with UK tabloids. And she's saying all this nonsense. And for a minute, it was very silent. Sultan Mohammed goes back to his duties as Sultan. Oksana would just post about her life. She's living in London now as a model. And it seems like she's living a pretty luxurious life. She still posts about her son here and there. And yeah, like I said, he does kind of look like Sultan. Not to dwell on that topic, but truly, he looks like the Sultan. Some kids, you're like, yeah, I could see why you would want a paternity test. But some kids, you're like, hey, come here. I need to unlock your dad's face ID. Give me your face. Like, I feel like that's the kid. Like, you could get Sultan Mohammed's phone and he could unlock it with his face.
Then why is he... Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So regardless, September 2019, Oksana goes on to post on Instagram of her and Sultan Mohammed throwback pictures. The night they first met, memory photos of when they were dating. And in the caption, she talks about going to Malaysia for the first time. And after she moved to Malaysia, he was in his traditional attire. And for the first time, she saw a Muslim prayer mat and Muslim prayer. And he had opened up to her that women always wanted him for money, but family was his top priority because children can carry on your legacy or your kingdom, right? Which is like, what are we hinting at here? The Kelantan Palace did not like this post. They urged Malaysians not to be swayed by false and untrue information of social media about royal households. They urged that only the palace and Sultan Mohammed could be the only ones to state accurate factual announcements in reference to their family and private lives. After that, Oksana deletes all her posts with Sultan Mohammed and only keeps posts of their baby up. Which before this, I feel like everyone disliked both of them. I don't know if dislike is the word, but was like, you guys are both messy. Like, this is just getting so messy. It's not, a lot of Malaysians were like, this is not a good look. Please stop all of this. Please, you guys, like, have some royal behavior, both of you. But then after this, people kind of don't like the Sultan a little bit more than they don't like Oksana. It's pretty clear that neither of them married for love. No one is calling her a gold digger. It's just like, you guys didn't marry for love. Let's be so real right now, right? He's not that funny. At least for her, she is taking accountability for everything that's transpired afterwards, but it seems like he is not. He's not, quote, living with the, quote, consequences. Not saying her child is a consequence, but you get it. So people are upset that he's just abandoning his child like that.
Yeah, like, you're not gonna get away forever.
Yes.
Like, it's gonna come around.
Malaysians are saying, I mean, it doesn't make sense. How can he just leave with no responsibility because he regrets his personal choices? Take accountability. He acts like there's no consequences. Others are saying it's just so irresponsible and unroyal how he is behaving, not just towards Oksana, but their son. Yes.
So how would I wonder, like what do you even tell the kid? You know, it's like it must be very confusing.
See, I feel like I was on Oksana's side. Because I'm like, yes, I don't think either of them just had this unconditional love for each other. I think they got married very quickly, so maybe, I don't know, right? I don't know. Either way, they get married. They both have some level of accountability towards each other. She ends up getting pregnant. Either do the paternity test and be accountable afterwards or not, right? So I feel like I'm more on Oksana's side about that. However, I will say both of them are kind of throwing their son into the news, into the spotlight. She's taking a lot of Daily Mail interviews about her son. And so I think that's the part that rubs a lot of netizens the wrong way. Although I think most people still are on her side a little bit more because it's like, come on now. Like, of course she's feeling this way because you're icing her out and you're not helping her raise probably your child as well. But she would post this video on Instagram where her son finds like a box of photos and he starts chewing on photos of Sultan Muhammad V.
What?
And she's like, what is this? What a horror. Who is that? Who is that? That's your father. And then she like gives a whole interview about the incident, which people were just like...
Wait, the son was eating photos?
Or like chewing them, like, because, you know, baby's teeth.
Oh.
So people felt like that was a little much. It's like, even if that actually happened,
Right, okay.
it just felt a little like, okay, now we're all just doing a lot right now and it may be not great for the son. Let's try to calm down and be a little more civil. But maybe this is why she can't be civil, because at this point, like I said, everyone's confused what went wrong in their relationship, why they divorced. And now they're even more confused why the Sultan is not taking responsibility or at least getting a paternity test to verify that it's not his child. And it comes released August 2nd of 2022 that Sultan Muhammad V is married. He had another secret wedding. And now people are like, maybe it makes sense now why he's not taking responsibility and ownership.
Wait, he's not always married, right?
No. So August 2nd, 2022, a woman named Diana is officially proclaimed by the Kelantan government as Sultan Muhammad's wife, which is kind of wild. The government never did that for Oksana. She has appeared with Sultan Muhammad to all the royal events since then. She's been recognized by the state of Kelantan, which this would be Sultan Muhammad's third marriage.
Right, okay.
Yes, but some believe... Okay, it's like very confusing. Some believe could be second marriage, could be third marriage.
Oh, depending how you feel about Oksana, right?
No.
Oh.
Okay, some people think. There are some people who think. So he got married to the daughter of the Thai official, right? Gets a divorce. Some people think he marries Diana next.
Uh-huh.
Never divorces her, but marries Oksana in secret.
Uh-huh.
Thinks he can get away with it. But then it becomes public. So then he divorces Oksana and is still kind of married to Diana. Others believe that he married the daughter of the Thai official, then married Oksana, then married Diana. But I don't know, because Oksana talks about how when she first went to the Malaysian palace, she would have to hide. She was like hiding.
That is weird.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what I'm saying. Why was he like everything hush hush, knowing like it's gonna come out?
And people were saying that she said that even the staff weren't allowed to see her, and which is very sus, because a lot of people are like, yeah, probably because the staff know Diana and are all close with Diana and would tell Diana.
But that also makes Diana's situation weird, because then why are you hiding Diana?
Yeah. There's so much going on.
That is so bizarre.
Yeah. Please let me know if there's more information, because I was really trying to dig into all of like the forums as well. But some people were saying, no, I'm pretty sure Diana is the second wife. So I was like, wait, what?
This is like a Netflix show.
So after their marriage news is announced, Oksana goes to a Russian TV show to share details about her marriage. And I think she's like, burn the bridge. I'm upset now. And she said that when she went to the royal palace, like she said, she had to be hidden. Even from the palace aides. They were forbidden from seeing her. And throughout the entire relationship, Oksana was never publicly acknowledged as the wife. So what does that mean? You put 2 and 2 together. But she also shared messages that Diana would send allegedly to Muhammad. She said that she found these on Muhammad's phone under the name Bob. Which...
Wait, so he's talking to Diana at the same time?
It seems like it. That's what she's alleging. I don't know. I'm not alleging this against the former king of Malaysia. I love Malaysia. I want to go to Malaysia. So please... I'm not alleging anything against the former king of Malaysia. But she is alleging, yeah, she's alleging just that, okay?
What does that mean? That's why people think she's the second wife?
So it's kind of unclear exactly how it plays out. But she's saying that she found messages on his phone under the name Bob, which I find to be a very strange thing. Because imagine I'm in Korea, and instead of the name Hyunwoo, I put the name Hank. Like, that makes it more weird. Like, Bob? Even here, if I had someone in my phone named Bob, it'd be like, that's a fake name. That's your drug dealer or something. Like, that's not Bob. Sorry, Bobs out there. Sorry, all the Roberts. R.I.P. Okay, but Bob? So then she's like, I found these messages. And she starts posting these messages. And allegedly, Diana had sent them under the name Bob. It reads, please tell her to come soon. I will throw Oksana into the lion's cage. Simba is very hungry.
Wait, Diana's telling that to the king?
It seems like it.
Tell her to come to Malaysia?
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna throw her into the lion's den?
Yeah.
Wow.
Another one reads, Oksana can be the queen of public toilets in Kelantan. We are short on cleaners. Again, I don't know if Diana's the one sending these. Oksana could have made them up. These could have been sent by somebody else. We don't know. Another text allegedly reads, we have been together for 10 years with a few months break where she warmed her way into my husband's bed. Please tell her that karma is free. She got her karma and punishment from Allah by being a single mother for trying to break someone's family, but that's too bad. She shouldn't try to get pregnant with someone who already had a family. She is an absolute monster and manipulator, and the truth about her lies will come out one day, so she should weigh what she says to the public.
What?
Yeah. Now, allegedly, Oksana even claims Diana was messaging her dad, telling Oksana's dad, how dare she sleep in my bed and put her things in my bathroom, and how dare she try to steal my husband, to which Oksana claims her dad responds, sorry, I'm busy with my patient right now, because he's a doctor. And Oksana claims Diana texts back, no problem, doctor. Just convey my messages to your daughter. She should have a reality check. He lost his throne because of that bitch. We married privately, but we didn't do an official declaration when, but we are married. The first wife is determined by the date. I married him in 2010, while she in 2018. So you go figure out who's the first wife, please. Since you are a doctor in medicine, I assume that you can count well. And Oksana was self-declared by leaking and selling the photos to the media. So she's saying Oksana's the one that leaked the pictures to the media.
Okay, so that sounds like the king is a cheating... Wait. It sounded like...
It sounds like we've heard this story before.
Yes, but this is like the royal version of it.
Yes.
And it sounds like Oksana and Diana both knew what's going on, right? So that's why, hence all these text messages. But in the public, we only see like a little bit. These message is painting like a different picture behind the scenes.
Yes.
Like, it's very messy.
And unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever get Diana's side of it because she has been named his wife. And I think as part of the royal court, you can't just be like, here are my receipts.
Right.
You know, it's just a very different code of conduct that one has to follow.
Wow.
I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but it's just very interesting. So, okay, there are some ways that this could play out. I mean, some people can see Diana's perspective of, I'm the wife, but I had to lay low in secret because he is a royal highness. And now this woman has wormed her way into my husband's bed, leaked the photos of their marriage to try and discredit me as the wife and take over my position and all of these things. Maybe that's how she feels. I don't know. And then Oksana might feel like, no, I didn't do any of that. In fact, I was abandoned and now I have this child to take care of that nobody is taking responsibility for when I just thought I was in love and got married and hee hee ha ha, everything was great. Which one is the truth? We will never know.
Wow, this is whoa. Like I'm like filling in the blank in my head.
All because
I'm not saying anything, but like I kind of like I see what's going on.
Me
like,
too.
The day that he stepped down, the conversations and
it's just crazy because all of this happened due to his great sense of humor. I'm just kidding. But that is what a lot of netizens are saying. Yeah.
That's messy.
So like I said, it could be from Diana. It could not be. These could be made up messages. We don't know. But regardless, Kelentan has decided to decline to comment about all the text messages and things that Oksana has brought up about Diana, which Oksana states she's only doing this now because she's terrified for her life. Yeah, so she's scared. She's scared to go to Malaysia. She's scared. The whole thing is sad. I mean, just the whole thing is kind of depressing. I don't know which version is true. I mean, maybe it's a mixture of both. It could be none of the above, all of the above, one of the above. I don't know what happened behind closed doors, but it is pretty depressing for the child.
Yeah.
According to some sources, it's stated that initially Oksana requested $20 million along with a villa in Spain, but she later asked for an additional $30,000 a month in child support as well as a home in London worth $9.8 million. Sources say that Sultan Mohammed, when he got her final demands, he was pacing around asking his aides, who does she think I am? Bill Gates?
No, you're just the king.
Yeah, you're a king. Okay.
How could you be an
entrepreneur when you're the king? Okay. Yeah, which I don't know, sir. I just know that you have a Jacob & Co. Astronomia watch, a tourbillon black gold watch worth nearly $1 million. Okay, $650,000. And honestly, it could have been a gift, but it's a triple axis tourbillon with a small ball representing the earth made from magnesium that is hand painted with blue lacquer and completed with rose gold and a 1-carat Jacob cut diamond and a time display. And it's probably the size of a baseball. Okay, that's all I gotta say about that. It's limited to 18 pieces. Yeah. Which,
those
again,
watches they're fascinating. I think they shouldn't be worn on the wrist. They should be like in the little case, like display museum.
When they move around in a circle in a case, it's beautiful.
It's cool. But like wearing it on your hand is a little weird.
It's a little goofy.
Yeah, because it's like a glass ball, basically.
Yeah. You know when you go to prom and they give you the corsages? That's what they look like, but made of glass. And you're just like...
It's actually, okay, the whole thing is crystal sapphire. So it's actually sapphire. It's just clear sapphire. And it's like the second strongest gem after diamonds. And it's very impressive. Like Jacob cut it using like these like lasers and all of that. It takes like forever to cut this whole piece of sapphire into like a little dome, basically. But it just looks really goofy. Yeah,
like if you ever want like the AT&T Stadium right here, that's what that looks like. It's just, I'm such a sour hater of watches that I can't afford. Okay. Like I said, it could have been a gift. He also has another one worth $350,000 and a Richard Mille worth $230,000. So I don't know. Maybe he can afford some of these things that she's wanting from him. Maybe he can't. I don't know. It is later rumored and revealed that Sultan Mohammed offered the child a trust fund of $213,000, which that's not even one of his Richard Milles, under the condition that he continued to be raised Muslim, get Muslim schooling, and never contact him. And Oksana would get $100,000. Then it was later stated that Oksana was offered $1 million, but turned it down. Her attorney stated that $1 million sum was given to her just to shut her up. She was supposed to take the money, and then what? They could have kidnapped her baby after giving her this money. Would you have sold your baby for $1 million? Which I felt like that escalated a little quickly. I don't know. That just felt a little... like 0 to 100. Yeah. And they were like, of course not. You would not sell your baby. I'm like, whoa, okay. And Sultan Muhammad has been spotted in London recently with Diana in an upscale hotel. And later, after he leaves, a little boy was pictured leaving with his aides. So it does seem like some agreement was made, and perhaps they're either co-parenting or trying to figure out the paternity of the baby or something.
Whoa, that is crazy.
So of course, you got some netizen opinions. Naturally, you have some people who believe that Oksana is, quote, a gold digger and opportunist. They comment, what attracted you first to the wealthy, much older sultan? I don't know. It's like the normal, typical comments of that. And then you have the ones that think mainly Sultan Muhammad is at fault. They write, like, $200,000 is not that much to a rich person. Like, for real. Forcing a religion, yet turning his back on that child is disgraceful. He has no honor. He knew he was getting involved with a reality star. And then some people blame both of them. Both of them don't appear to have married for love, and now they brought a child into this world, and they keep bringing that child into these very public fights and conversations of money, and they think both are at fault and both need to do better. What are your thoughts? Who do you think is at fault?
I just feel like this is not the end of it. Like,
oh
I feel
no,
like it's gonna be like
he's gonna slam open that door and say, "I am the next king." I'm like, okay, I don't know if he's gonna do that, but that would be crazy, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this case? What are your thoughts on this story? Let me know in the comments, and please, if you're Malaysian, let me know more details in the comments, because all I could really find were Daily Mail sources. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to check out Baksu, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.